Hello everybody, my name is Brittany and today I wanted to talk about when you have a propagation that is finally successful, what do you do? So on this channel we talk plants, and it's about time that we talked about some successful propagations that I have in my collection. I need to pop these guys up and get them off of my counter. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, get some tips from you guys, and also try a couple experiments and see what's the best technique for this. So stick around, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I would love to hear your tips, your tricks, your successes, and let's talk potting up propagations. Okay, so some super successful propagations that I have recently. I have a couple of golden pothos. This one is the smallest root system that I have. This has been sitting in water for a couple of months now, maybe a little bit less. I have another one that this guy is out of control. These little leaves have produced this big old root, and then also this smaller root right here. And then the other one that I want to pot up today is this gorgeous neon pothos. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. I love this. And it has some really good roots popping out too. So these have been sitting in my kitchen in a cup of water on the windowsill for, like I said, a couple months now. And I've really been thinking, like, I need to get these in some soil. I would love to see these starting to grow into actual plants that I can put into my pothos pot, and I've been putting it off. I was sick and tired, and today's the day. Tonight's the night. So here's what I'm thinking. I've decided I want to try a couple different experiments. The first one I want to do is to just put these straight into soil, the ones with some really good roots, straight into soil, keep the soil really moist for the next couple of weeks so that I'm not shocking the roots. And then the other thing that I wanted to try is to keep it in the water the way that it's been living its life on the windowsill, and slowly but surely add some soil each week into the water to kind of acclimate it. And I figure we can do this like a science experiment. I'm a teacher in my normal day, and so this seems interesting to me. What is the best propagation method? Straight into soil or babying the cutting? So we're gonna kind of keep up with this on this channel, see what's the best, see if it makes a big difference in a really easygoing plant like a pothos plant. And then we'll kind of go from there. We'll make a deduction. I'm kind of thinking that acclimating it slowly is going to be less shocking and easier going on the plant, but we will figure it out and we'll decide what worked best. So I'm gonna set a couple things up so that we can get this going, and then we'll look at what this actually is going to look like for the next few weeks. Okay, I lowered you down just a little bit so you could see what's going on here. I have a little cup that we did drill some holes in so that we have some drainage for the props that we're gonna put straight into soil. I do wanna keep this soil consistently moist over the next couple of weeks because that's just what these roots are used to. These are currently water roots, and I don't wanna shock them too much by just putting them into dry soil. So I'm gonna add some of this potting mix into this cup with the holes at the bottom. I'm gonna add the golden pothos cuttings into this one so that we have a little consistency here. So I have 2 cuttings, and I'm just gonna drop these down in here kind of evenly. Fill this guy up and make a mess on my counter until all the roots are tucked down in there. I do want to pack this in just a little bit so that that soil will stay moist. And this is gonna be test subject number 1. So this is the soil test subject. This is the one that is not getting any acclimation, straight from water to soil. We will keep it moist, but we're just going gung-ho on this guy. I do have a lot of pothos cuttings and I want this to do really well, but if it doesn't, I'm okay to take it back out and put it back into water, snip that down. How cute. That's actually so cute. So I'm gonna rinse this through really well until the water's coming out of those holes that I poked, get this nice and moist, and then I'm gonna kind of keep tabs on this over the next couple of weeks, keep it moist, but not soggy. And we'll keep tabs on this on the channel and see what it's looking like. If there's new growth, new leaves growing, if anything seems like it's starting to die out, I will definitely document that here. So test subject number 1. And then we have test subject number 2 here. This is that neon pothos, and it's been just living in water like this in a clear cup. Don't come at me. I just like to look at the roots. I know that a dark cup is better because then it's not so shocking when it goes into the dark soil, but looking at the roots is so satisfying. So what we're gonna do with this is day 1, I'm gonna add a scoop of soil into this water. It's gonna get that nutrients from the soil and then also get that darkness starting to acclimate it. I've got this cute little rake. I'm gonna use it as like a stirring spoon. Just down in there. So that's what that's gonna look like. And then every week I'm gonna add another scoop of soil until it is like your solid soil that you would put into a soil potting mix. So that's what that looks like. Mainly water. Do you see that? And it's going to sit along with test subject A right on the counter. You see the difference there. I haven't wet this one yet, but you would still be able to see the difference there. Until we have some difference, until we have some growth, until we have some death. We are really gonna kind of keep track on what's the best way to do this. I am really excited to see what the best method is going to be. And if you guys have used other methods, let me know down in the comments. I really wanna know what people are doing because this is kind of scary. These are pretty easygoing plants, but I'm still like nervous that something bad is gonna happen. So I'm hoping for the best. I will keep adding my little bit of fertilizer that I normally do with these as I water, and we'll just keep tabs on what's going on with these two guys. Test subject A, test subject B. Okay, so those plants are put to the side. The other thing that I wanted to do, since we are talking about propagating, is I have this super lovely satin pothos, also known as a Scindapsus pictus. It's not actually a pothos, but that's just what it's called. So I've got this guy and it has been growing like crazy. You can see the new leaves. Here's one, here's one. I mean, they're all over the place. And I'm not ready for this guy to not be a table plant. I'm not ready for it to be a hanging plant just yet. I'm thinking closer to spring. That's what I want for this little plant. So in the meantime, these really large leaves that are now sitting, or vines that are now sitting on the table, I think I just want to propagate. So I'm gonna propagate so I can tuck them back into this, this pot. So I did get my shears here. We're gonna do our first little haircut on this guy. And I sanitized these previous, so these are good to go. And we're gonna propagate this. I'm excited, and always a haircut's sad. So I'm gonna take this vine, this long vine here, right in between a node. So the node is where the leaf grows off of. You can see that bumpy part and you can see where the leaf grows off of. There's a node here as well, down here and here. So we're gonna cut right in between there. And I think that that might be a node too. So I'm gonna cut right here. Okay, here we go. Snip. So that's what that looks like. I cut this because I think that this might be a node. There's just not a leaf growing off of it. And then there's a leaf here, but I wanna use this node as a root growth point. So that's where the root will grow off of. So I'm gonna just take this leaf here off gently. I'm gonna do it with some scissors because I don't want the leaf to be submerged in water. Look at that beautiful leaf. I did cut that off. So now we have, I think, 2 nodes. One right here, and then I think one right here. If not, that's okay. The root will grow right out of here. And I'm gonna add this into my propagation cup. I'm gonna let this callus on my counter for just a little bit so that it doesn't rot. So I want some dryness here so it doesn't start to rot. And then I'm gonna put it in my cup of water with the rest of my propagations. And after a few weeks to a month, it'll start to grow roots out of that node. Once the roots get long enough, I will just pop it right back into this pot like this, and it'll still be a table pothos until the spring. So pretty simple. I've had really good luck, pretty much nothing but luck in propagating pothos, philodendron like this. So I will show you what I've got grown in there right now and a couple other propagations that I have growing in water. And I'm curious to see, I'm looking at doing semi-hydro propagating and I just haven't, I've bought the stuff for it. I've bought the supplies to do so, but what are you guys propagating in? Water with a little rooting hormone, which is what I do, or semi-hydro, or are you propagating straight into soil? I wanna know what's the best technique and what's working for you. I tend to stick to soil because it has worked so well, or excuse me, to water because it has worked so well, but I'm not opposed to trying something different. So let me show you my cup and what I've got propagating, and we're gonna let this dry overnight and then we will stick it right in there with the rest of the guide. So in this cup of water, I have 2 on my windowsill right now. There was the golden pothos that we put into soil. There was the neon pothos that we added soil to the water. I have a heartleaf philodendron that's starting to get roots. I have a third cutting of golden pothos because you know how they are, just out of control all the time. So this great big guy. And then in the other cup, I have a fiddly fig propagation that needs to go into soil ASAP. I don't know, this guy just got out of control out of nowhere. And then I have my snake plant cutting with its first little stalk growing. So once this dries, I will just stick this right into the one with the philodendron and the other pothos, and it'll hang out, and then I will keep you guys up to date on the soil propagating and how that's going. And in the comments below, let me know which one you think is going to do better, or if you think they're both gonna fail and you have a better technique. I would love to talk about it and to get tips from you guys as well. I've got one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and then we will end this video for today. A few weeks ago, I had repotted my Chinese money plant because I felt like the pot that it was in was too big. And I said, I think that the plant is putting all of its energy into the roots in its great big pot. And I think if I put it into a smaller pot, it will do better and we'll get more leaves and it will put more energy into the leaves. And I just had to show you guys, I was so happy that I was correct, I think correct, but this guy has gotten 4 new leaves in the last couple weeks since we did it. So this is a new leaf and there's another one here popping out, another one here, and then there's a little one down here popping out. I don't know if you can see it, but just in the last 2 weeks, we have gotten 4 new leaves growing on this Chinese money plant. So I did want to update you if you had watched that video and were curious on how this guy is doing. He's doing great, super happy. The leaves that are coming in look really healthy. They are not domed and bold like the other ones were. So if you have a Chinese money plant that has stopped putting out leaves, maybe look at the size of the pot that it's in. It seemed like it worked for me. So I wanted to share that. If we're giving tips to each other, that one is just a science experiment of a tip and it worked out really well. So that's it for tonight. I got the things done that I have been putting off forever. I'm starting to feel better in terms of the illness, and I hope that you and your family have stayed really healthy. Again, if you have tips or if you have predictions on this science experiment that we started today, please comment down below and give this channel a like. And I would love it if you subscribed so that we could keep up with each other on Instagram. Follow me, Botanics with Brittany. I would like to see all of your pictures. So give me a follow, I'll follow you back, and then make sure you point out which pictures you're wanting to share, whether it be your propagations or your Chinese money plants or just something really cool you've gotten recently. Let's chit chat about it, and I'm gonna get this all cleaned up so that I can get to bed, and I will see you guys at my next video.